Hello, I'm Mrs. Bradley Smith and I'd like to talk about what you need to do in order to be successful in your Maths GCSE. So let's first of all start off with a bit of background about the Maths papers. So there's 3 papers in total, 2 of which are calculator and 1 is non-calculator. The non-calculator paper, that is the one that is that's first, and then the 2 calculated papers then follow it. Each paper is an hour and a half, and each paper is also worth 80 marks. Students are either working towards the foundation or the higher tier paper, and that sort of depends on their ability. Approximately sets 1 to 4 are higher, and remaining sets are foundation. There's a big emphasis on problem solving and mathematical reasoning within these papers, and so lots of the marks available are method marks, and so it's really important that working out is given throughout the paper. All 3 papers carry equal weighting. They're of equal difficulty and any topic could appear on any paper, and this is what makes revision for the maths papers particularly challenging because we don't know what is going to appear on each paper. And so it's important that everything is revised for every single one of those maths papers. And it's for that reason really that it's so important that we plan our maths revision effectively, because it is not possible to just revise the night before the maths exam. Okay, so what will we be doing at Aldersley to support your child in mathematics? So lots and lots of things that I have listed above. So 9 AM sessions. So currently we're offering students to come in early at 9 AM for maths sessions, and we also have 3 maths intervention sessions during the week. Both the 9 AM sessions and the intervention lessons are updated following ROP assessments, so we can make sure that the students that need to be in maths are in maths. As maths teachers as well, we plan diagnostic lessons from latest mock results. So we have a look to see what topics each class really needs to sort of brush up upon, and where those quick wins are. We teach them before the next RP assessment. Maths teachers then also produce individualised pinpoint booklets for each of their students, so students know exactly what topics to target to make sure that progress is made between those RP assessments. We have holiday revision sessions just before the exam season starts, to give students extra math sessions during those holidays to make sure they're not just sat at home not doing too much. And revision booklets are also given out as well, so there's always plenty of work for them to do when they're not in school. Revision guides, so these will be being given out during Independence Day. Ahead of each exam, there is exam revision breakfast as well, so students can come in as early as 7:30 to revise for the assessments that day. And then finally, in the Year 11 area, we have lots and lots of past papers and maths resources that students can help themselves to do at home. So how can you help at home? So first thing is, there's lots of really good online resources and revision resources for maths that students can access. Maths teachers will tell their classes which ones sort of guide them, show them the websites, but 2 that are really, really good that students like are Corbett Maths and Maths Genie. Both of these websites have each topic listed and videos and questions. So really support and encourage your child. Avoid that negative thinking. If they come out of an assessment or an ROP and don't think it's gone so well, sort of guide them. Yeah, that exam might not have gone very well, but the next paper will have, and just keep going. Try and get as many method marks as you can for each paper. I think it's really hard for students in their maths, because if they see a question and they find it a little bit tricky, or they haven't done that topic for a while, then sometimes they feel that they failed because they've had to miss out a question. But actually there's lots of marks to be picked up on the rest of the paper, and actually a lot of students surprise themselves with exactly how many method marks they are able to gain. So if we could really have your support to encourage students and avoid negative thinking around the subject. So really kind of linked to that, having that can-do mentality. Celebrate the small wins. Ask your child what they've been revising on Corbett Maths or Maths Genie or with the papers they've brought home, and celebrate those wins. Oh, brilliant, you've now mastered index laws. Okay, what topic should we do next? And support them with that. So little and often, so as already discussed, each of the maths papers, any topic could appear, and it's not possible for them to revise all those topics right before their maths paper. So it's really important that throughout the year they do little and often. So they do a little bit of maths, every single week, to make sure that they're covering the entire spec and revision before the exam season starts, and this will obviously really help their mocks as well. So effective revision techniques within maths. So first of all, a big kind of thing that students struggle with is exactly what topics to revise. So what we try and encourage students to do is prioritise their revision. So we've got lots of checklists in the maths department, and also these checklists appear at the front of revision guides as well. So get in your child, have a look at the topics, and topics that they feel they can do. They don't necessarily need to revise those in as much detail as topics which they are struggling at. Students quite often like to revise the topics they find easy, but that's not going to be effective revision, because if they're just revising what they're able to do, then they're never going to be able to master the stuff that they need, that they find more tricky. So we really encourage students to use their exam feedback to diagnose topics that they revise. So once you've kind of come up with a bit of a topic revision list, then use revision guides, use online videos, use your maths teachers to then revise those topics. So the videos on Maths Genius and Core Maths are really useful for this. So once you've identified that topic, have a look for a video on that topic, or ask your teacher to explain it, or read the revision guide on that particular topic. It's obviously really important as well when you're watching those videos or reading those revision notes that you're making notes. But that's not enough in maths just to make highlighted notes. You then need to check that you understand it by completing practice paper questions, practice questions on those topics. Now again, what's really good about Maths Genius and Core Maths is that attached to each video they then have some questions for you to check your understanding. In the revision guides, we've also got a revision workbook, so find that particular topic in the revision workbook, and the answers are also at the back there for you to then check. So use mark schemes and examiners reports to really check your understanding. And also at this point it's really useful to see where marks are awarded, where method marks are awarded, where communication marks are awarded, so you get into the practice of exactly what the examiner is looking for in the exam. So this 4-step process is really the most effective way of revising maths. So prioritising the topics to revise, using revision guides and online videos then to revise those topics, completing practice questions to check your understanding, and then finally marking those questions to make sure that you've really mastered that particular topic. A lot of students fall into the trap of just doing past papers. They are useful and they do have their place, but before you get to the past paper stage, it's really important that you're understanding topics. Otherwise, students then just complete practice paper questions and continue to miss out topics that they don't understand. So I've spoken a little bit about Pinpoint Learning. So all students will have login details to Pinpoint Learning at some point over the next few weeks or so. So how Pinpoint works is initially students will be given a Pinpoint booklet for each paper they've sat. And that Pinpoint booklet will give a summary of 5 Pinpoint topics that they need to work on. So these are their quick wins that will ensure progress is made. When they log on to Pinpoint, so www.pinpointlearning.co.uk, you'll be asked for username and password, which is on their Pinpoint booklets. And when you sign in, you'll see their Pinpoint topics. There'll be 15 up there currently based on paper 1, paper 2 and paper 3. The Pinpoint topics then have links to lessons for students to watch. How I suggest students do is they watch the first video, so this student here would watch rearranging y equals mx plus c and interpreting, and then they go back to their Pinpoint booklet to have a go at the questions, and then on the website you'll be able to see the work solutions, so they'll be able to see exactly how to answer each of those questions. Now the idea is with these Pinpoint booklets is that they've mastered these 5 topics, and then they can move on to paper 2 and master another 5 topics, and then move on to paper 3 to master another 5 topics. So these Pinpoint websites are really useful for sort of mastering 15 topics really well ahead of the next assessment. Also on Pinpoint Learning, there's a really useful sort of matrix. So throughout the year we'll keep on adding to it as maths teachers, and it will build up a really good idea for students of where their strengths are and where their weaknesses are, and it will provide for them a priority revision list. So when it comes to revision, they'll know exactly what topics they need to work on the most, and then they can use either Pinpoint to access videos to help them, or they can go on to Corbett Maths or Maths Genie as well to have a go at various questions. Okay, so if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop me an email at lbradleysmith@aatrust.co.uk. I'm confident that if we work together alongside the student, fantastic progress and fantastic results will be made this year for our Year 11 students, and I'm really excited to see what they achieve in the summer.